Today we're doing the 4006 C3. The problem is, no matter how I adjust the drag, there's no drag. Drag pressure is the same for all, even when I lock down, it's still the same. So I suspect that grease and oil has impregnated the brake disc inside. So today we're going to open up. Hopefully we can clean the brake disc, if not maybe replace with new ones. Pliers, Abu tool, fishing hook, oil and grease. This reel looks as though it has never been serviced. It's in pretty poor condition. So as per normal, we will put everything in order of what we take out, so that later when we reassemble the reel, you won't have like missing parts. So the tricky part about taking this out with synchronized lever winds is the best is to hold the spool and then slowly slide this part out, push back the casting brakes and then just leave it here. As you can see, it's really filthy, so just clean it up a bit. Normally a very light layer of grease is sufficient. You don't have to put so much grease. It does not help with the water resistance at all. Unless you have O-rings, grease doesn't really help. They work together with O-rings to keep water out. Alright, next is this part. Clean. So inside here, in the casting weight area is also full of grease. This will affect how well the casting weights are going to work. If you can degrease it, all the better. So let's do that now. I use this Zippo fluid. Put a bit here. Clean the inside really well until there's no grease. Might as well clean the casting brakes also. 1, 2. Get a container, pour a bit of lighter fluid inside, throw these two in, just shake a bit and just leave it there for it to soak. Next, we're going to dismantle this part. And then carefully lift it off. Press your finger here, pull, and you have the inside. As I suspected, you can see here, there's caked up grease all over here. Caked up grease. That's why the drag is not working. I'm going to remove one by one. The first drag. There's even rust. No, it's dried grease. And then the rest, we'll just lift this off. Okay. There's one drag disc here. There are two more in here. So this was on top, followed by this, followed by this, followed by this, followed by this, and this, 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 and this. So we're gonna need more. Okay, so we throw this. This one we clean by hand. Good enough. So you can see already changed color, the gunk. Take these two out first. Clean. Might as well clean these two also. grease has baked on. This one can't do anything. Corroded. Nothing I can do. Already very clean. Okay. Clean any visible excess grease. We are not going to do this part in today's video. Oh my! So this is what happened to the drag throwaway. This one, the condition also not much better, and so is this. Cannot already. So luckily we're going to replace with new ones. These are original Abu drags, not carbon tax. This roller bearing, put a bit of grease, very light grease. The trick with grease is, well, less is more to a certain extent. Shove it into the hole, turn it around a few times, and that's enough already. No need to do anything else. So because I don't have this piece for replacement, we're gonna have to reuse this part. Okay, so we're gonna replace 1, 2, 3, 4. You need to grease them. First one, take a bit of grease, just enough to cover. That's enough. Put it in, put it on top. Then you kind of wiggle it. Next, take the first drag, take your grease, just a little bit. I can't stress enough, don't overdo the grease. Put it in, put this one in, put the second piece. It's too much grease, take up some. It just needs to be almost just barely there, just a thin film. We don't grease the washers. Okay, and the third one, make sure the amount of grease on top and the amount of grease on the bottom is about the same. Don't grease one side more than the other. So make sure this and this sit together, and make sure here and here is in the recess. Okay, next, just a double check the two holes and the two holes, and they line up. Okay. So these two must oppose each other. Oppose, cannot be the same. Okay. After that, moving backwards, is the star drag. Star drag goes in. If we do the grease first and then screw on the star drag, when you screw in downwards, you push the grease in. Not very good. This piece is stainless steel. Technically you don't have to grease it, but it doesn't harm, doesn't hurt. But there's not much benefit either. So this part, put a bit of grease if you want. E-clip. Okay. Don't have to be very tight, it just needs to be snug. In fact, try not to over tighten because this is brass. It will deform. And we're done. Star drag works. Okay, this part of the reel is for another day. If we have time, we will cover soaking the spool bearings to get the grease out of it and re-oiling, but that's another video. That's grease. How you cast like that? Don't grease this. Okay, how much to tighten these three? Little bit only. You can feel it go snug, then go a little bit more. Okay, let's test it out. And the reverse works. Light drag, half turn. Heavier drag, half turn. Very tight drag, lock down. Okay, now we have a working reel. Okay, like that. Check again. Snug, easy. A bit more. A bit more. A bit more. Lock down. Okay. Done.